Hey, welcome everybody this morning. Ms. Lee,
Yes.
you're first up. You can come up to the podium if you like to.
Okay.
And we've got your information here in front of us, the tax card, et cetera.
Okay.
And then so we'll let you go ahead and give your presentation, and there may be some questions the board has for you.
Okay.
And then at the end of
Excuse
the
me.
day today, after everyone is presented, then we'll make our decisions and then notify you by mail and
Okay.
within 2 weeks' time, so.
So I've never been to one of these before, and I didn't know I needed to have a presentation
That's
ready.
okay, just
But-
tell us what you want us to know. It's very informal, so.
Okay. So the reason I had called here and requested this meeting was we got our tax bill that went from, for our almost 30 acres farm on Fleets Bay Road, it went from $14.56 last year to $35.86 this year. So I called to ask what the reasoning was, how that happened. And in the process of the conversation, I found out that maybe part of that was this 1 acre that the house sits on. The house was built in the 1860s. It's a 4-room house. It's not been expanded or renovated. I mean, it's obviously got electric and, water and everything. No one lives there right now. But we haven't made any major improvements to the farm or to the house. And then I found out that the 1 acre last year was valued at $13,500, and now it's valued at $375,000. So I'm just coming here to ask, what the reasoning was for the change. And the house and the lot are on the road. They're not on any waterfront.
Yeah, it looks like from all the properties here, any land over an acre, you're given 1 acre for a home site as one value. And then any additional land is categorized and taxed as a different piece. So it looks like on here, you've got 13.9 acres of open land. It's a farmland?
Yes, we farm it. We
Okay.
lease it to a farmer. It's 29.9 acres total originally, but we have had a lot of salt infiltration that has cut down the amount of acres being farmed right now.
Okay. And then it says 10 acres of wasteland. Is there roughly 10 acres of land that really you all aren't using or farming?
Not that I'm aware of.
You're farming most all of the
Yeah,
acreage in?
yeah.
And then 1 acre of waterfront, which I think that's where the value jumped up considerably. The assessor assigned that $325,000 for 1 acre of waterfront land. I guess that would be the,
We don't have an acre of waterfront land. That's a home site.
all this area in here where the cursor is.
That's all farmland. There's no home sites there. There's no homes, no buildings, nothing.
This attachment that we have,
Yeah.
this was with the new card, right? Do we have one from the old?
I don't think so.
Because I'm wondering if that was even there on the previous. That's probably exactly what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, the 1 acre where the old house is right on the road, right?
Back up here?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
That's the home site.
yep.
So,
Yeah.
There used to be an old, big old house right next to it, but it got bombed during the Civil War and burned to the ground. So I think our ancestors built this little cottage right next to it about the same time, 1860s, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think the land piece was left off in the last last couple assessments. Do you all have any questions, Ms. Lee?
Yes, sir.
No?
Well, we appreciate you coming today.
Thank
And
you for
again,
having me.
At the end of the day, we're going to go back through case by case and pull up some old records and
All right.
and make sure that you're not being unfairly taxed or jumped. We've seen some inaccuracies, and people are human, the assessors make mistakes sometimes. so-
Right, right. Well, that's
We,
why I
um,
came here.
Yep.
All right.
So you did it right, and we'll notify you by mail. Mailing address 267 Harbor View,
That's-
Waystone?
That's correct.
Okay. That's where we'll send the notification to in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's, how can you assign that acre if it's in land?
I don't see where they can.
I mean, like, to me, it's just an arbitrarily assigned water per
Number.
acre.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be there. Probably wasn't there before.
Miss Lee, one more question for you. With this, the rest of the farmland, is it in land use? Did you all put it in land use so that it would be taxed differently than residential?
It's always been in land use for over 100 years.
So it's been in land use?
Yes, it's a
They've got it
century
marked here
farm.
since 2008.
Yeah.
It's a century farm, and it's been in the family farmland for over 130 years, I think.
I think we found the issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
What's that? The land use? Yeah. Well, it's here. And see where I mean, it jumped from 77,200 to 400 and some thousand. That's that one lot he added.
Yeah, for 325 or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
That should be easy.
Good catch, RJ.
You want me to lie down?
No. I was getting ready to. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait. No, it's something personal, so it can wait till lunch. And yeah, I probably will forget. That's right. That's what I need. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to look.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna ask,
Mr. Flubright, how you doing? Fine. Good. Well, welcome. We'll go ahead and turn things over to you.
All right, I'm not mad at any of y'all. I'm not mad at anybody in the county. I've been here my whole life. I grew up in Lancaster. Matter of fact, I was the last graduating class from Lancaster High School down here in Kilmarnock. It went two-story brick building, so that was in the early 70s. I've never been up here complaining about taxes. I run my own business because I know you've got to take in enough money to pay for your expenses. I've been told, okay, the assessments went up. That's fine, the assessment went up, should. But it's up to the county's responsibility to lower the rates so that it doesn't stick everybody. That poor lady that was here is just one of many. My taxes went up, my wife's taxes went up 37% on her house. And it's just, to me, it's highway robbery. I own a trust business down here. I'd like to have a new component saw. It's $300,000. Well, I'll just raise my rates, raise my price 37%, charge more for the trusses. I can't do that. But y'all can, you can, the county can. And it's not just me. People I've talked to that are just paying 30, 37, 40%. That ain't right. I mean, if y'all, the county needs to cut back on what it's spending. Brand new high school down there must be nice. You know, the high school over here is better than the one I went to. You know, and I've never been up here complaining. I didn't figure it was needed to because I figured the county would look out. Not anymore. That's ridiculous.
Right.
You know, and I don't expect y'all to help me in the least, but I wish you'd help the rest of the county because it sucks. Yeah. I'm not complaining about what it's assessed at. I've got my wife, she lets me live there. My wife has a nice home. We worked hard for it. Taxes increased by $2,400 just on the house, just on it. And, you know, we can afford it. But there are people out here that can't.
Right.
And I don't want it to go up $5,000 next year because, we decided to increase the size of the school. And that's what it comes down to. You know, if you can't afford it, don't build a new school. But don't stick everybody in the county just to pay for it.
Right.
So that's really, I didn't bring any paperwork. Ain't no sense bringing paperwork. I'm no different.
We got paperwork, don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Let's talk, because it looks like your land value didn't go up much. $5,000. But the improvements went up from 873.5 to 145.
Yeah. And it was no improvement. I mean, it's the same house. We didn't do anything to it. It's just the assessment went up. And, you know, I'm glad, hey, my house is worth more. We're not planning on selling it. But if it doubles next year, then the county ought to cut the rates in half. They don't have to, just because assessment went up doesn't mean they have to make more money. You know, like I said, I really would like to get a new component saw, and I'll just raise my truss prices 37%, and then nobody will buy trusses from me. But that doesn't work that way for the county.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not complaining about the assessment. I'm complaining about the rate did not really go down low enough. And it's not just me. It's a lot of people in this county that are paying through the nose that weren't.
Well, let's look at the house real quick. So, built in 1999. Two-story house.
Yes,
4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath.
yes,
5468 square foot.
yeah, excellent, nice
That sound
house.
about right? Okay. I should make sure we've got our data right on here, because if there's any inaccuracy here, that might affect your.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong. I didn't see it was overvalued or anything. Matter of fact, I wish they'd have valued it more. I mean, I can sell it for more.
But it's the tax rate.
It's the
part.
tax rate against it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants their land to be worth more, but they don't want the taxes to go up 37%.
I get it.
You know, and I doubt if y'all are gonna help me, but y'all need to help some of the people in this county. 'Cause it's highway robbery.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never paid attention to it. I've never complained about it. We pay the taxes. Boom, boom, boom. It is what it is. This year, my wife tapped me on the shoulder and said, "You might want to look at it." You know, so that's really all. And if y'all got any questions, what?
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Kluger? No. Well, thank you for
right.
coming up here and voicing. And we do, the comments that we hear, we send back to the board of supervisors, because they're the ones who
Yeah.
set the rate.
Y'all didn't.
All we can do is look at inaccuracies and inequalities and
Yeah.
make sure that the values should be the same for like-kind properties, and if there are errors, we correct those, but.
But there should be some sort of, and it's not you can only go up 10% a year or something. It's just 37%, boom, 1 year. That's a jag.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, we're fortunate. We can afford to pay it, but I bet there's some that aren't. And eventually, if it keeps going up like this, I'm not going to be able to afford to pay it. So,
And you're right, you can't upcharge your
No.
trusses 37%, because there'll be a lot of people who go, I can't afford trusses anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and the government's got you because there's nothing you can do. We just raise the rates because we want a new school, and that's nice. That school over here is 10 times better than the school I graduated from, and I bet I got a better education back then than they're getting now. And who knows what you're gonna get in the new school.
Right.
So, anyway, thank y'all very much.
Well, thank you for building trusses. Both my houses have your trusses in them, and we were happy as a lark, so. Well, that's called job security for you, right? Just design more trusses for the next one.
According to the code, the way they've changed the code,
Yeah.
technically, all the trusses built 20 years ago should fall down because they won't pass code.
Wow,
So they keep increasing the code, they keep doing,
great.
Is that changing your business? Are they changing any code now to change how you do operations?
Yeah, every truss has to be built stronger now, where it used to be at the edge of the wall, they put a little baffle to let the air flow.
Right.
So it compressed it.
Yep.
Now they make you raise a raised heel. They started it like a foot raised heel, and now they have about 18-inch raised heel. It's the government who's helping you save money, and the trusses are costing more, and probably in 25 years, you may get back to saving heat that you've lost by doing all this fancy stuff to the truck.
Why are they raising, trying to get more airflow in the attic?
So you don't compress the insulation.
Right.
At the edge of the walls. It's supposed to save the heat and whatever, it's supposed to be more efficient.
But people who are doing spray foam, doesn't matter in the attics.
Oh, yeah, spray foam will work, and then the other thing is, if you, the little bit that you save by compressing insulation at that one spot is negligible.
Yeah.
Great.
People in government probably couldn't build a house. I would doubt if half of them could sell lemonade if you made lemonade stand. They will tell you how to build and how to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And if I don't talk to you, have a very
Thank you, buddy, you too.
Thank
you.
True story, I bet 90% of the homes in this whole area have his trusses on them.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Got a few properties here. All right, next up, Wanda Jones Conway Properties. Not here yet? Okay. Todd's here. All right, Todd, you want to go ahead and step up
Sure.
and do yours so you can head on back to work?
No, I can't wait.
You can hang out here all day if you want to.
Well,
Willis.
I'd love to. Well, I'm very different than your last one. I am a newcomer here, and I am complaining. And I brought paper. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for seeing me. I'm the owner of Yankee Point Marina now. We have a number of parcels. Part of this is because I'm new to the county and having had this assessment, me getting a better understanding of how we get to where we're at and talk about a few things. I don't know if this group can deal with the fact that on one, there's a personal property. Can we deal with that here, or is that somebody else?
For personal property?
Yeah.
Personal property needs to go to Commissioner of Revenue.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, we'll move on from that one.
yeah, we're just real estate.
Yeah, all right. So first one, and it is, let's see if I can figure out, parcel number 26-18.
Okay?
Land value, $350,000. Thank you. Improvement, $70,000. This is an old farmhouse that, quite truthfully, I'm surprised it's still standing. As I walk through it, the whole building shakes. Doors open when the wind blows one way and closes when the wind blows the other way. So I'm sure there has to be something in terms of value of improvements. I just don't know that 70,000 is necessarily the number.
All right, let's see, Todd, so, and that was the only number that went up. The land value stayed the same, but the improvements went up from 62.5 to 70,500.
Yep.
All right, so improvements, you got a 114-year-old building,
Yep.
4 beds, 1 bath, plaster, walls, space heater,
Propane heaters in there.
okay. Any air conditioning?
Window units.
Okay.
Is this where your office is?
This is our offices.
Okay.
Yeah, so, while there are 4 rooms,
Yeah,
it's, you know, I-
Yeah,
it's an old house.
okay. Gotcha,
you're familiar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
okay.
so,
So we can look at those things then.
yeah, if you could look
So
at
ju-
that.
So
I-
it's just on the improvement on this
Yeah.
one, okay? All right,
All right, the next one is 2616.
616.
This is the building with the restaurant and the ship store. And I understand that some of the docks are attached to this. Again, land value, I don't believe that moved, but improvements did move quite substantially. Having been there, again, it's an older building, and having crawled through some of the spaces in the last year or so, I question the building itself. And then, of course, the docks, we haven't done any improvements. The docks are just still existing, so anyway, love for you guys to revisit the improvements number.
Yeah, ironically enough, when Ken Knoll was on this board, we went through a whole
We did all
long
ours.
meeting about redoing all the marinas differently. Because the slips, and I think the bulkhead and all were,
Fingers and,
yeah, finger piers were one thing, and so we had to go through and change the entire way that the county assesses marinas
Okay?
for Ken's, so we've been through that part, so now we can go through.
All right, well, again, I'm new, so,
Yeah, but no,
you know,
no.
I just, when I see $832,000 for improvements, I swallow a little harder. Now, if I could get what you guys are, you know, assessing me for, I should probably sell. But, yeah, if we could just revisit the
Improvements on
improvement
that
side
one,
of
okay.
things. And then the last one that I have for you guys is property 2618J.
18J, okay.
Again, land value, I'm fine with. It's the improvements. We're at 112,400. My understanding is that the 2 buildings that are, well, the things that occupy that property are the little boat repair shop, I think, that's down by the water. It's an old concrete building. It used to house the, when it was a travel way, that's where the motor sat.
Yeah.
And then also the little log cabin shack that we have a snack bar in. Again, the concrete building down by the water's edge, in my estimation, isn't worth the materials it's made out of. It floods at high water. We make use of it because it's there, but to my mind, it really has very little value. And then from the records that I've got from Ken and Karen, that log cabin shack was about 45 grand when they purchased it. So those are the things that we have on there. But we've got $112,000 of improvement. So if we could revisit that as
Yep.
well, I would be most appreciative.
Anything on 18H?
No, those were the only ones I had questions for you guys on. The others I was willing to accept. I got a whole stack of these things.
Because we got them all written up, so we got 16, 16B, and 18. Those are the 3 that we're considering.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
And 18J.
18J.
Yep. And we're just relooking at the improvement values on those.
Correct.
Okay.
because all I've done is just clean up the old leaves and trees.
Yeah.
I promise you, you'll get more capital improvements out of me eventually. Help me save a few more dollars, I can do them a little more quickly.
That's right.
All right.
You don't have any questions?
Thanks, Todd.
For Todd? Todd, thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you all, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
1303 Oak Hill Road?
Yes.
Good mailing address?
Yes.
All right, so when we're done today, the county will mail you out the decision, and it'll, let's see, Crystal, it would be four notices in one mailing? Or we'll just do one notice? If it's 4 parcels, so we'll get one for each one will come to you. All right, buddy. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you. You too.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Thank you. Okay. Wanda Jones, Conway? Still not here? Okay. Miss Swinehart, come on up then. Don't come up to the podium here. And let me pull your tax card real quick. And what we'll do is, we've got the tax cards here,
Okay,
got the plat up there, and so we'll let you all give your presentation, and then we may have some questions for you.
we have a handout, if we could
Sure.
present that to the board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hale Drive.
Hale Drive, yes, good morning. I want to
Morning.
thank you, the board, for their time this morning and the opportunity to present some more facts about our property at 141 Hale Drive
Sure.
in Lancaster. And I just want to remind the board, if you have any questions throughout my presentation here, please feel free to ask.
Okay.
Don't feel like you have to interrupt. So going to the first slide, a little bit of information about our property. The picture you see there is the house as it is, right now or today. The property at 141 Hale Drive, the previous owner had passed away in 2021 as a result of COVID. The property basically has sat vacant up until we purchased the property in February of this year. The property was actually on the market for a little over 2 years at an asking price of $695,000. The property did not sell at that price. It sat on the market for about a 2-year term. During those 2 years that the property was on the market, it really fell into disrepair. The daughter of the previous owner who had inherited the property, she took title of the property in June of 2022, and that's the same time at which she put it on the market for sale. She did not have the money or the finances to maintain the property and take care of it at the time, which is the reason why it was put on the market as soon as she took title from her father's estate. While the property was on the market, the realtor who was the listing agent, he was really kind of taking care of the property while it was on the market for those 2 years. It really kind of fell into disrepair over the time. As you know, any house that sits empty, it shows the signs of neglect as time goes on. As you can see in the picture, the previous owner did do some exterior cosmetic repairs on the property at around 2011, 2012. He basically replaced the siding on 2 of the 4 sides of the house, basically the side facing the road and the side facing Lancaster Creek. The brickwork was done on those two sides of the house, as well as some of the windows were replaced at the time. As you can see, to the left side of that photo, the original siding of the house is still there. You can see up close to the gable eave, the squirrel hole. The squirrels had worked their way into the attic and took up residency inside the house. So the house really kind of, it needed some attention. We actually purchased the property in February of this year for $500,000. If you want to go to the next slide, the large repairs needed. So we actually ended up purchasing the property as is. My wife Deborah and I, we kind of like doing home improvement stuff. We enjoy working on houses, the sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. And when we saw Hale Drive, the property, the house, we kind of wanted to save it. We're a big fan of history. It's one of the things that brought us to Lancaster County and the Northern Neck area. We just love the history, the quiet of the neighborhoods. And we just saw this house built in 1940. We saw it was kind of going the wrong way. And we just felt, it was the right place for us, and it deserves the attention and the work that it needed. Some of the repairs that were needed was the roof on the garage had a large hole in it. There's a small one-car garage on the outside to the left of the house, which it was raining in the garage. The flashing around the chimney was leaking, so we were actually getting water in the attic at the time at which we purchased the property. Again, the squirrels and the mice had pretty much moved in and taken over the house, so there were mouse droppings, mouse rodent nests in the radiators and all that kind of stuff, so we had to clean a lot of that out. The house still has the original 1940s septic system. That's a big expense, as you know. We're working on that with John Hallowell now. He's working on a plan, and we're going to get a new septic put in, hopefully in spring of this coming year. The heat pumps are in there. They're about 14 years old. The house actually still has the original old boiler from the 1940s in the basement that was never removed, so we're going to have to take that out. And all the kitchens and bathrooms, they were redone probably around the 1970s, 1980s or so, but they have not been upgraded, so all those things have to be done. So they're all kind of on our list of things that we want to do for the house. If you want to go to the next slide, the 12-year reassessment history. So we pulled this together based on the information from the realtor for the tax history when the property was on the market. As you can see, starting in 2012, there was a reassessment that was done right around that 2012, 2013, 2014 timeframe. We believe that was done probably about the time when the previous owner had done the siding and some of the windows and just some of the exterior improvements that you've seen in that first photo. As the years have gone by, you can see there was another reassessment done right around 2018, 2019, about a 10% increase in the tax bill at the time. And then it's been pretty consistent up until the reassessment that was done for Lancaster County last year, and obviously notices that came out just recently and why we're all here today. So as you can see, the new assessment for 2024 is almost 31% increase over what the tax assessment was in 2023. We all know, the prices and home values in the area have gone up substantially since the pandemic, and we agree that some increase in value of the house is there. But we're really we were a little surprised when we saw the amount of increase in the assessment just because of the condition of the house, the fact that we did purchase the property in this year, and the fact that, the house sat on the market for as many years as it did without a buyer buying it at that price. The MLS list price from 2022 through 2023, again, was $695,000. We suspect that the The contractor or the firm that did the reassessment for Lancaster County, we think they probably just looked at the fact that the house was on the market for that price. They, took that and said, take 5% off, and then they set the value at the $670,000 at where the assessment is today. We feel pretty confident they didn't go out and actually look at the house. I don't know how they would be able to go out and look at all the properties in Lancaster County doing this assessment. So they probably looked at it online, said, okay, 700,000, it'll probably sell for, 670, and then that's what they set it at. So that's kind of our grounds for the hearing here today, that we really don't feel that they looked at the property and really investigated what condition was before settling on that amount. If you want to go to the next page, we did go through some of the properties that sold in Lancaster County, mostly on the western side of Lancaster County, in the Morocco area, kind of where our house resides. We tried to look for properties, again, that sold in 2024, that had a similar age, something that was built prior to 1970, similar setting, something that's on one of the creeks or on water, similar lot size, similar condition, and obviously all properties in Lancaster County. So our first comp on the next page, the 314 Callis Road. As you can see, that property sold in October 31st, 2024. Sold price on that property was $557,000. That's actually a 4-bedroom house, a little larger than ours, 2-bath. Lot is slightly smaller. Our lot is 2.7 acres. This lot is 2 acres. It's listing the house as being built around 1900. Again, our house was built around 1940. This property has a pool, which our property does not. So we felt this was a good comp for estimating the true value of our house at 141 Hill Drive. The next property on the next page, the 1121 Level Green Road in Lancaster. This property sold on the 13th of August of this year. The selling price was $592,000. This is a pretty close match in the description of the property to our house. Not only is it a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, about 2,000 square feet, but it's also the same 2.7 acre lot. It was built in 1968, so it is slightly newer than our home, but we felt this was a good comp as well. The next property is 385 Cow Shed Road. This property sold in July 12th, 2024. This is also a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, 2,200 square feet. Again, very comparable to the size of our house. Year built 1972, so again, it's an older home. Lot is slightly smaller than ours at the 1.3 acres, but this property sold for $425,000. The last property on our comp list here is 975 Ivy Creek Road in Morocco. We selected this property just because it is actually a neighboring property to us. You actually go down Ivy Creek to get to Hale Drive. So this property is like 2 doors down the road from where our house is today. This property was on the market. It did not sell on the market, but the estimates online and how the Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com, they kind of give you an estimate for what the property was worth. Those services listed this property at around $450,000 in value. So if we go to the last page, the average of the comps, so if we basically added up all 4 of those properties plus our property at 141 Hale Drive at the $500,000 selling price that we purchased it for, you divide that by the 5 properties, it gives us an average value of about $510,000. And we feel that that's what we feel the marketing value is of our property, based not on the condition, but the fact that the property did sit on the market as long as it did, We did buy it for $500,000, and these other comps are also in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. Any questions?
I don't think I have any questions. You all have any questions?
I was wondering, what was the sidings on your house compared to the houses that the comps?
The siding?
Outside, yeah.
Oh, the outside? You said the view?
The sidings.
Oh, the siding. Yes, so the siding on our house is a cedar shake-looking vinyl siding, plastic siding. That's on the river side as well as the road side of the house, and that was put on by the previous owner, again, around 2011, 2012, when he did some exterior improvements. The side, both the ends of the house still has the original clapboard siding that was on it when the house was built in 1940. So-
Okay, and the houses that you were compared to the one that you have, what type of sidings that they have?
Most of those are vinyl siding, yes. If we
okay.
look at the pictures, most of those are plastic or vinyl siding of some sort.
Plastic.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Appreciate y'all's time and
Well, we want to thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity, just kind of present this information, and we hope
Absolutely.
the board will consider, not so much a $670,000 reassessment, maybe kind of bring it down to somewhere closer to what the value is, okay?
well, what we do is we look at first the land values
Yes,
and see, make sure the land values are in line.
Yep.
And then we go back and look at the improvements and see where there might be some inaccuracies or some crazy jumps without justification. So
yeah.
you all providing this information is going to be very helpful to us.
Thank you.
13107 Rock Ridge Lane, Woodbridge. Good
Yes.
mailing address for you all?
What's that?
Is that a good mailing address for you all?
No, actually, 139 Mine Road. 139 Mine Road, M-I-N-E.
13
139 Mine, M-I-N-E Road
Okay,
in Oley, O-L-E-Y.
uh-huh,
Pennsylvania,
okay.
19547.
I'm glad we got that.
Okay.
Because right now, that's what we have on the tax card for you all.
Okay.
That would have went to the wrong address.
yeah, so we'll
we
make
will
sure-
be moving down here, by the way, just
Yeah,
so you all know.
our plan is, to retire down this way.
Yes.
So when we found the house, we loved it, and so we're
Once the
trying to
house
get it
is
fixed up and getting it
Good.
livable. And then,
Yeah.
we like the Lancaster area. We've been coming down this way since COVID.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of friends in the area, and we just enjoy being here. So we ended up buying 141 Hale Drive, and we're going to make it our little hamlet down here. And then, when we're done working professionally, you'll see more of us down here.
There's plenty of other homes you all can do this to after this one does. Keep on going throughout the county.
We actually do love renovation.
That's great.
We picked up, I'm sorry. We picked up the book, The History of the Northern Neck.
Yeah.
And with all the historical homes in it. We actually take the book, and we have a goal to go around and look at all the homes that are in the book. So
Oh, cool.
we try and pick off 2 or 3 homes, a week.
Yeah.
And or when we're down this way.
That's
And, and we love them. So we will, it's what brought us to the area, just the history, and again, it's very quaint and quiet. And the people are great.
People are wonderful here.
Thank
you.
Thank you, that's
Really
great.
Welcome to Lancaster.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so at the end of the day today, we go through each case by case, look at everything, and then we'll notify you all
Okay.
by mail within 2 weeks or so. And Crystal, I've got an updated mailing address for them, so we'll make sure to get that corrected
Yep.
too.
And I think Crystal has Deb's cell phone and information, so, and email, yes, if you have any questions. Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you,
Thank all
everybody.
for your time.
Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care now.
Okay. It's Calvin, I guess, I don't know. I don't know these people.
Still no Wanda Jones Conway? Okay. Well, let's go to Tiggles.
We going to Tiggle?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Ms. Tiggle? Yes. Come on up if you all want to go ahead and go early.
Who are those two men sitting there? Who are those two men sitting right here?
Welcome.
Morning.
How are y'all doing?
Doing okay, how are you?
Good. So we've got your tax map in our possession, and then the parcel pulled up here, so we'll let you all, let us know what you want us to consider, and then we may have some questions for you.
Well, we were really confused about the tax increase because there's been no improvements. There has been, in the past 2 years, one new house built, but there's been no improvements done, so, and the tax went up almost $500.
Yeah, it looks like the land value stayed the same, but your improvements went up.
We haven't done any.
No gold wallpaper or gold fixtures?
No paint. We did swap out toilets.
Well, that's
and got the-
$100,000 right there,
And got
right?
the tall toilets.
And I still had the same white.
Are you complaining? Compliment.
All right, let's go through, just make sure we got the data correct. House was built in 2014,
Yes,
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms?
yes,
Okay. Heat pump for heating and cooling,
yes,
flooring, carpet, and vinyl.
yes.
Square footage, 1584? That sound about
About
right?
that. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, around 1,600, yes.
And y'all are on a half acre.
Yes, uh-huh. Why, what
Anything
did
look
you think
crazy
it
on the
was?
tax card?
You thought it was
Well,
three-quarter?
the price per square foot went from 82 to 151. That's it right there.
Okay. 654.
Yeah, we're seeing most of the increases in the county have been on the improvement side, not so much on the land side.
It's been years since we've done any real improvements.
And, you know, the assessors more than likely probably looked at the previous assessment card and probably went off that with an increase, but, you know, without going in your house or talking to you all, they probably didn't know anything, so what we're gonna do now is go back and look at why the jump was so much.
Right.
And because you all said you haven't done anything since the last reassessment, there's no justification for such a big increase on that part.
Right.
So
The-
that's where we have wherewithal and leeway to be able to make changes on the increase in the value of improvements.
Okay. I'm not there often, but Calvin is there. If they ever want to come and walk through.
No, not
There's been-
necessary. With you all being here and presenting it to us, not necessary. No. Mailing address for you all, 2617
Longbow.
Longbow Court, Bryan's Road, Maryland?
Correct.
Okay. So what we'll do is, after today's hearings, we're gonna go through case by case and make a decision on each one of them, and then we'll notify you all in mail within the next 2 weeks or so
Okay.
of the decision, and it'll show on there, you know, land value, if there's any changes, and so.
Okay. All right.
All right, then, appreciate that.
Any questions?
Yeah, because I'm 74 years old. I can't go back to work.
Don't want to, don't need to, right? You've worked all your life.
Well, I have to still work.
I think you next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Y'all have a nice-
Y'all, have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you,
too.
guys. Improvements, improvements, improvements. Okay. Well, Mr. Douglas, yeah, I'm sorry, if y'all want to come on up, don't want to keep you all day. So, we're going to be a little flexible here.
Well, I have to say, this is very interesting.
Let me pull up your parcel real quick on here.
Okay. My name is Bill Larmy, and I'm actually a neighbor of Bill Douglas, and I will be presenting the information on his behalf.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
All right, I'll turn things over to you guys. Hang on one second. Let's find your tax card. There we go.
And,
Okay, all ready to go.
okay. Well, my basic premise is that Bill Douglas's taxes have gone up significantly, but it's based on information almost all the way down the line that's inaccurate.
Okay,
So I'd like to pass a handout.
sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the photos on here are two houses, and this is in a development called Salt Air off of River Road. And these two houses are one vacant lot apart on the same side of the road, on the creek side of the road. And Bill's property is the one on the right. And if we can go through some of the information, the house on the left has a land value of 39,000. Bill's is 64,000. And in reality, they both are located on a small creek, and they do have a shoreline, but Bill's shoreline is totally forested. I mean, there's no access to the water, and there's essentially about a 40-foot drop. It's not a drop, but a steep incline to go up to his house, which is about 40 feet above the water. And there's really no access or use of the water at all. Whereas the other home, which has a lower land value, has a beautifully landscaped steps, and his backyard is really wonderful, and he has a dock and so forth, and actually a nice view of the water. So it's interesting that the land value is higher. Even Bill's acreage is a little higher. In improvements, there have been very few improvements since the house was built in 2003. And if you put the two together, the valuation of the property improvements is almost $100,000 more than the neighbor's house. Square footage is also very different than the actual square footage. As you can see, it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. The neighbor has 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. And the actual footage is approximately 1,950 feet because it's actually a 1-story house. The second story is all attic. And you can look to the next page, and you can see photos of the second, what is being evaluated as a second story. But there's actually no living space in the second story. So if you look at the square footage, a 400,000 square foot house is very large, really. And the square footage of the other house is 27. The house on the left, 330 Bull Creek, has been on the market for over a year and is not sold. They've lowered the price. They've lowered the price $50,000 from the original asking price. Interestingly enough, Bill's house, which is 1 story, is evaluated quite significantly higher, And his taxes this year have gone up 87%, and they're actually higher by about $500 than the neighbor's house. So there's a lot of discrepancies here in the information, and I haven't had the ability to research, but I suspect that somewhere down the line, somebody made a typo. Instead of 4,000, it probably is about 2,000 square feet. And through all the years, and this has never been challenged or has never been looked at, as far as I know anyway. And the information is filtered through Zillow and everywhere else that this is a two-story house with X amount of space. And it's totally inaccurate. So my request would be, on behalf of Bill, that the county send out an assessor and to reevaluate the square footage of the property and adjust the property tax accordingly. And I might add that Bill's situation is also such that his wife, Glenn, has been bed-bound for almost 3 years, living in, they live together and so forth. And Bill, financially, they live a very close to the edge life because he is in dialysis, 4th stage kidney dialysis, which he gets 3 times a week. so they have quite a lifestyle, and their actual annual income is very close to the edge of not having to pay taxes. So it's very significant that his taxes have gone up by 87%. He has paid the taxes of the $1,800 because he pays on an installment basis, but he absolutely cannot afford, the additional increase. So thank you for your attention.
You have any questions?
No, it's really interesting because the tax card actually says on here that the upstairs is unfinished.
Yeah, that is
So
interesting.
Somebody somewhere,
You looked at it.
yeah.
Yeah, and we don't know. In fact, I was going to go over and see if we could track the actual information over the years on this house, because he could have been paying for 20 years on inaccurate information.
I know that they will retroactively reimburse up to a point. I can't remember how many years
Okay.
back they will go, but I don't know. That's up to them.
Yeah, well, it would be wonderful if this could be adjusted for next year, because this is an extreme inaccuracy.
Sure. Okay.
Well, we appreciate you all coming in and bringing that to our attention, and we'll make sure to make corrections and notify by mail to the 370 Bull Creek Drive property?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, and you said that you will do the evaluations actually today?
Time permitting, we're going to try to get through everything today, at the end of the day
Okay.
today.
And what time do you expect that the result will be coming out, or what day, or how long?
Within the next 2 weeks, by mail, you all will be notified.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, well, thank you very much for your consideration.
All right.
On
Thank
behalf
you.
of Bill's wife and on behalf of Bill.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
State taxes because of the age. Oh, okay. I couldn't apply. I remember seeing it though.
Thank you. Have a good
You
holiday, too.
Thank you.
Too.
Be blessed.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
New Year.
Christmas.
Well, with their conditions, yeah.
That's the one you qualify for tax deduction.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, depends on the income.
Which property is that?
You just need to know if it's strawberry, it's nice.
Is that the, commercial one?
So that's different.
Next to UPS? Yeah.
But this one's for sale. Where you going?
Yeah, that is just raw land. That's a 73A. That's gotta be the building right there. Yep. So that's the building, 15A. We got the one next door listed right now. Yeah. All right, y'all want to,
Call Mr. Roach. It's too early.
that's 2 o'clock. You want to, do the one we just had in front of us?
Just fix it while we're here.
Yeah, Mr. Douglas.
Should we get like a, should we call Beth, since it's more or less, I mean, they're gonna have to change, and it's gonna have to ripple down square footage wise.
And from 1.5 story to 1 story.
Yeah.
That's gonna change the price per square foot too.
Well, and at 2007, we could probably give him a little bit more depreciation than 10.
And the thing with the land, we either have to adjust the neighbors or
Yeah.
flip-flop the values or something. If we could look at Google Earth on that to see,
Yeah. Says 25 D1 21. All right, so that's his.
Thank you for doing that. Sorry to be a
Crystal?
pain.
on the one we just did where the upper level is attic, do we need to talk to Marlon or do we need to talk to Beth?
That's not here, but she was plans.
Shame on her. Is you know Marlon?
Ron said she would be doing.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Look at that.
see what's on the screen right now?
Yeah.
That is the 330 Bull Creek. So when you said the land value, they don't have much land.
No.
This property, Mr. Douglas, is right here.
Okay.
So he's got a lot more water frontage.
It's just not conditioned. Right, he said he had trees there and
5D.
about a 40-foot drop.
Right.
So 21 is him.
He's 21. This one's 23. This is the one he's comparing side by
330.
side.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
But I can see why the assessor would give this lot less value than this one.
Because of the water frontage.
But let's see what these other ones are. So 39.5 for land on that one. 64.5 on this one, next door neighbor. 72.5 on this one, this has got a lot more frontage.
What about 130? That's,
60,000,
as far as the amount of frontage, is that similar?
probably so, yeah.
Looks like it. Good morning.
So I think land value is fine.
So Marlon, this is one we're working on. I don't know if you or Beth need to go out there, but apparently, and there's a note on there, the upstairs is attic. So we know the square footage is gonna come down.
It shouldn't be 1.5, should be 1 story.
Gave us pictures, I don't know, one of them not.
But he was saying the square footage is 1950, not 4,011.
That's his upper level.
Big
That's a
difference.
switch.
Big difference, yeah.
Yeah, probably that's gonna be one that we go, actually, we need to go out and
Measure.
and see, and then, figure out what part, upstairs is unfinished, because that will be at a different rate than finished.
It's all unfinished.
Oh, yeah, there's that note.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we got pictures here too for the
Yeah, I'll do that.
upstairs.
okay, yeah, just set that aside and,
Okay,
we'll,
You keep that.
okay, we'll go see what we can find out.
okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And where's the 330? Is he 337? No. This is what's the other one that he gave us? Where's that one?
Right here.
Got it. Okay.
Now, on that one, on the Douglas one,
Uh-huh.
you all may make no change because that's square footage.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, so maybe, well, I'm trying to think of wrapping everything up, maybe you all can just continue to vote and say whatever Marlon and Beth come up with, will be the square footage and then we'll give you the order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that way you can, that won't be a loose end.
No, that's fine with me.
I mean, unless, did y'all wanna adjust the,
I'm sorry,
It's okay.
That's all
I
right.
thought you were all finished, but I just had a comment, and I'm wondering if taking this into consideration. There is a low-income barrier
Yes.
in which you are exempted from your taxes.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if they adjust that for inflation, because $28,000 a year is pretty small income to
no, I guess he would talk to the Commissioner of Revenue.
Right.
oh, okay, that's something else.
Yeah, it's a totally separate division, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you that Marlon Savoy is the Commissioner of Revenue,
Mhm.
and she just came out here. We've given her the file.
Okay.
They're gonna come back out
Okay.
and remeasure because it's such a big inaccuracy.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
So she's gonna take that on and,
Okay.
So we gave her the pictures in the card and,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, super.
yeah.
But yeah, I would check with the Commissioner of Revenue because I don't really know what
Oh,
that.
okay.
It's based
Well,
on their
we live in
income.
Fairfax County, and it's, I don't know, it's like 45,000. I'm in Fairfax County, it's totally different than Lancaster.
Right.
But I'm just curious if.
Yeah, I would ask her if there are any
Yeah.
programs to assist
Definitely.
Douglas in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, and again, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, thank you.
Did y'all talking about depreciation?
Yeah, let's look at that.
RJ?
What's that?
Would you say something about depreciation on that one?
Yeah, it was at 10%. I mean, it was built in, when was it, 2007?
17 years old.
And it doesn't look like he's done much to it. Probably could give him a little more than 10.
But then you're also taking into account functional. So do we back that out when she adjusts the square footage?
It was given for that reason, right?
Right.
The functional
but
is
it
because
is-
upstairs is unfinished.
Yeah,
But even after they adjusted, it's still unfinished.
I know.
Should we leave it?
I say we leave the functional, maybe up the physical then. And take the factor back to 100.
I gave her my other card.
Oh, it went, yeah, from
116.
116, yeah, back to 100.
Okay, that's good.
And then physical from 10 to 20.
Yeah,
sounds
because
good.
It doesn't sound like you've done anything.
Okay. All right, Crystal, on Douglas, 25D 121. We're taking the factor from 116 to 100. Physical depreciation from 10% to 20%.
20%?
Uh-huh. the number of stories from 1.5 to 1. And then based on Marlin's measurements, whatever their square footage is, will be the square footage. All right. Hey, Leland. How you doing, bud? Come on up. Your property's up here second. Let me pull them back up. You want to talk about the land first or the building?
We can do either one. My business partner and I bought both of them in December of last year
Right.
from our landlord.
All right. Let's see. All right, let's do the land first. We got that one pulled up. So that's 1473A.
All right.
And this thing jumped from 20,100 to 111,800.
Yeah, it went up a good
Y'all found
bit.
gold, you found oil.
There's
Who
nothing,
found
there's
it?
nothing on the lot. I don't know why. We just saw a spot that would make a spot for a good honey stand. But
Let's see if there's any commercial, 4.471 acres. They just changed it from 4,500 an acre to 25,000 an acre. Okay.
I hope that was a typo.
Well, that'll be something that we'll go back through and look at the other properties around to see why, and see if there can't be some adjustment made for that for price per square foot for the acre.
all right. I think you say it was 22 before or 20,000?
The total assessed value was 20,100
Okay.
because the previous assessment had the price per acre at $4,500, where the new one went to 25,000 per acre.
So, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Well, we paid 22.5 for it. So,
Okay.
I mean, if that's something we might be able to work with.
All right, 22.5. And y'all just bought that this year?
It was December of last year.
Okay.
We got that piece and the other 2 acres with the building all in one deal.
All right, and let's go ahead and look at the, all right, so the building now, 1515A. So land jumped up there double, and so the improvements. Any notations?
I think the previous assessment was 210.
Yeah,
For the
210, this
improvement?
one's 445.7.
I know, I went in this building right after Vincy died. I mean, have y'all done anything to the building itself?
Not really. There's one room that's been redone, but, I mean, I guess the only real comp is UPS next door.
Yeah.
And it's a much larger building. Like, if we wanted to get our floors in the same condition as ours, it would cost us $100,000 or more. The front part's gonna need a roof in the next 5-10 years. I mean, we got a lot of stuff we're gonna have to do to the building in the near future.
So everything inside is pretty much the same as where it was last assessment?
Yeah, it's, not much has really been changed.
Yeah.
I can't believe that thing's been there since '73.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. James? I think for us, it's gonna be going back through and trying to recalculate numbers, because what we're seeing a lot of times is the land value hasn't changed much, but the improvement value jumps up significantly,
Yeah.
which we could see a little bit if you went in and just gutted the whole thing and renovated it all, but if you haven't,
Yeah, we haven't done,
yeah,
we've really just done what we had to do to keep everything operating how it needs to.
right.
So it's kind of we put as little into it as possible before we bought it because it wasn't ours and we
Right.
didn't want to do a lot of stuff like that. But like UPS's building, they have a lot of equipment that's integral to their building also. That we didn't do that because we didn't own it.
Right.
So it's all, we can kind of take it out if we want to, but
The PO Box 1522, Kilmarnock, still good for you guys?
yes.
Okay. Well, Leland, what we're gonna do is, this afternoon, once we get through with everybody, go back through one by one, and then look at where we can possibly make adjustments. And then Crystal will send you something in the mail within 2 weeks' time of the decision, so.
Okay. And for that one, I guess we paid 82.5 for both of them combined, so it was 60 for the building essentially.
60 for the building, then 22.5 for the lot.
Yes.
And that was December.
December of last year.
Okay. That's great, buddy. Well, I think that's all we need to rock and roll, so.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
Well, thank you all for hearing me
Yeah,
out.
Merry Christmas. Tell your folks hi. Y'all want to work on this while we got it right here? Okay.
I know I could get where I could use something. It's getting thin up there.
Yeah. Transplant.
Well, I guess while we got the building pulled up, I was also there, after, when Connie called me in.
With you today.
It's nice,
Yeah.
but if they haven't done anything to it, they shouldn't have changed. Because he pretty much, they just took over the same operation, just, yeah. Have you all been in this building, beside UPS building in Lively?
Not
The
in,
one
no.
where they do
Food?
the food products and stuff, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've never been in it.
It's not, I mean, it's nice. Jay and I were both there right after Mitch died, but
That's surprising because it ain't much to look at on the outside.
inside, it's a basic
Yeah.
industrial processing
Yeah,
thing.
that's cool.
Does UPS still operate in there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, somebody told me they was closed up in the afternoon
They
for
don't,
business.
I don't think you can go in there and send packages out anymore. You have to go to the store in Kilmarnock.
Okay, that's
It's
what I heard.
only a transit facility now, I think.
Where they go and load up? and
Right, you
All
can't-
those trucks go down the road in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonder why that?
I don't know, but that happened about a year ago, I think.
Okay,
All right, so
thank you.
the field sheet, they took depreciation from 60 to 35.
No, that's what, I'm like, why am I looking at this wrong? That's crazy.
But then there's no depreciation on the new card.
What they say they doing there?
He's got an economic of 20%,
Like, like
and then an
prepackaged
economic of
foods
15.
and
Is
they
that right,
do
15 on the old one?
Yeah, that's.
Like
what I'm-
gluten-free flour and stuff like that.
Where they get it from?
I think they get all the components in and then they put the packages together and then resell them. I think that's what they do, but I'm not positive.
Oh,
So they made a change on the note and then didn't transpose it to the card?
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
10%.
So what do you think we should go back to the 60% and actually put it on the card?
Oh, at the bottom, 10%. Well, look, it says 10% economic for doors.
Wow. That's what it looks like to me. I can't read that right. And this really makes no sense when you look at the land and the lot that's right next door to it. The building's got 30 for 1.6 acres and his is at 25. I don't know. It's nothing but woods back in there.
I know, and it's useless land.
So for the land, just want to put it back where it was on the old card.
That's kind of, I mean,
But-
if you look at,
Or how did we do? I don't remember how we did the other commercial. But didn't we assign like one that was
one value for the,
for like a 20,000 commercial lot, and then the rest was residual, right?
yep,
But I mean, you're not talking, this isn't the town of Kent. This is off the beaten path for crying out loud, you know?
Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
is it zoned?
It's zoned M1.
Okay,
So-
because here's Russell's, and Russell's is 4,500 an acre. And that's residential. I guess it's because of the zoning that's
What is M?
industrial.
Industrial.
What about, I'm just trying to think of where there might be any other M1s.
Would you?
All right, here we go. Yankee Point is M1. One of the parcels that we didn't look at for him that's zoned M1 is 17.5.
Per acre?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, 25,000 an acre and 30,000 an acre
It's
for
crazy.
M1, I could see that if it was like on the water,
Right.
For that
but,
place? Why
but
don't
it'd
we
be
just put
lively
it
off
back?
of Route 201.
Why don't we just go back to the old card?
I think that's fine.
Leave it like it was.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
That's crazy for that whole.
I know, yeah.
All right, so on the piece of land that I've got highlighted now,
Okay.
we're gonna take it back from 111,800 to 20,100.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and he said they paid 22 for it.
Yeah.
So. All right.
So with the building, it only makes sense to go back to the previous value for that,
Yes.
which is instead of
210.
48.3, that'll be 23,000. And then the, all the depreciation things, that would,
That's baffling.
see before where it had 35 a square foot on the old tax card?
Right.
And this one's 58 a square foot. So that's 300,000 jump right there. But for what?
Inflation, No, but I think you should just take that back too then while we're doing it.
Think about 35 a square.
Or, I mean, maybe if you're gonna increase it, not so much.
Maybe 40.
That's probably more in line. But nothing's.
What does that do?
We just be consistent with the other stuff and take it back to 35.
Just can't figure out the whole appreciation thing. What happened? Why did it go from 60 to 35?
Well, they've got they just don't have a percentage in here.
Oh,
See it?
yeah, sorry, I missed that.
264,
The value-
225 in appreciation.
Yeah, the value's there.
But,
That's 35%?
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, why did they
35%.
have it at 60% before, and now they've got it at 35%?
They didn't go in there and replace anything or do anything like that, right? He said they were just keeping it functional because they didn't own it.
Right.
Certainly, we should be able to go back.
To 60.
Yeah.
Minus. There we go. 754,928 minus 452. 301 for improvements. If we did 60 based on the current number, it takes them down below where it was last time.
Oh, wow.
So 754, 928, instead of 60%, say. do you think we can change that price per square foot number?
See why not? I believe Beth said we can change it to whatever we wanted to, right? We just, the grade,
I think y'all change square footage numbers, especially on commercial property.
okay.
They have, they did it else.
All right, that's a 40 square. If we went, 640, save 45%. 50%.
Good morning again. You can't get rid of me.
That's okay.
Just an interesting fact is that this was registered when it was built as 4,000 square feet. So it goes all the way back to 2007. Actually, the house was built in 2007, I thought it was 2003. So, and they did, Mr. Boyce explained that they can give some adjustment for the back 3 years.
3 year, okay.
Yeah. So that's-
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Good.
we really appreciate your help on this.
sure.
Absolutely.
So thank you. My intuition was correct, that it was registered from day one.
Hey,
Sure.
correctly.
Yeah,
And I think they put in a 4 instead of a 2.
Good Lord.
For the square footage. Okay, have a
wow.
great day.
Thank you,
You
too.
too.
Hey, David, you said you were on 15A, you were gonna go back to the land value, right?
Yes,
23,000?
yes.
Yeah, and then I was looking at taking the price per square foot from 58 to 40.
Well, that's what I'm figuring now, because I did 40 and it was low if we stay at the 60%, so I'm figuring 50 to see what that does.
Okay.
But I didn't have the correct land value.
According to Marlon, she says if you want to break it down, you just do according to depreciation, and then the square footage back.
Okay. Okay,
I feel like it's been done before, but I can't so much.
okay. And you said if we take it back, leave it at the $58 a square foot and bump it back to the 60, it's gonna be below what it was before?
No, it's gonna be higher. 754, 928 minus. That'd be 301 just for the improvements. That's still 100 and some thousand jump plus 23.
Let's just bump up the depreciation even more. This 1970s building, not much has been done to it.
754, 928, 8%. All right, if we did same price per square foot, 70 depreciation, instead of 60, that would give it a 226,478 improvement value. And 23,000 for the land, so 249,478. And we just take off the economic depreciation. I don't know what that's for anyway, so. Does that sound good to y'all?
Okay.
RJ, if we leave the
Yeah.
price per square foot, give it 70% depreciation,
Right, and then do away with the economic?
yeah, get rid of the economic.
All right, and that was at 249, is that what you said, or 240 something?
That takes the improvements value to 226,478. And then with the 23,000 for the land,
Yeah.
total value of 249,478.
I think that's a lot more reasonable.
Okay. All right, Crystal. For 15A, we're getting rid of the economic depreciation. We're taking the physical depreciation from 35 to 70%. And the land value total from 48,300 to 23,000. Yep. And then on his other piece of property, 14-73A, total land value from 111,800 to 22,500. All right. That takes care of Mr. James. Keep on working backwards. Tiggle? And Tiggle was, land didn't change, but the improvements jumped up 110,000. This where it went up $70 a square foot just because.
That's that daggone square foot figure.
I know.
Or we could always go back to 100 on the factor
Yep.
and bump up the depreciation
Right.
and make the difference.
So 254. Okay, so 254.
If you did 50%. Crap. I think that's what I did. If you do 50% on the depreciation and the 100 factor, no, 40% on the depreciation and 100 factor, it brings you out to 169,048.
Total?
Yes. Let me
That
double
sounds
check that.
fine, reasonable.
What's the depreciation?
40.
Yes, it was 40%.
You good with that, Ms. Davis?
Yes,
Okay.
physical.
On 34, 178A, factor from 103 to 100, and physical depreciation from 70 to 40.
40%.
Uh-huh. All right. Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
All right, how you doing?
We're doing fine. We'll
Come up now.
welcome you right on up to the podium. Yes, sir.
Come up here.
To the podium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we've got your information pulled up here in front of us, so I'll turn things over to you, and then there may be some questions we have for you, so welcome.
What do you want me to do? I'm a little hard of hearing you.
Oh, I'm gonna turn things over to you and let you tell us what you'd like for us to consider.
Okay. I've got a, it was sent to me on, I don't know when I received this. I think it was January of 2024, actually. January the 24th of 2024. And what it does, this information that I got, it shows 2022 assessed value at 134.2. All right. And then it was 2023 assessed value was 104.7. And what that was, it was a result of selling timber on the property.
Okay.
And I came in here and I talked to a lady in the back, I can't think what her name is, and told her that, and she said, I will look into it, and she adjusted it because of the timber. But now on the 2024 reassessment, they're basing it on the same value as it was on the 2022, which was 134.2. The 2024 reassessment is not taking into consideration the fact that timber was sold on the property. And I pointed this out to the gentleman when I met before, and
It looks like
I had no luck with him.
they made the distinction and changed it to cutover, they just didn't.
Didn't change
reflect it in the
value. Yep.
Yeah.
See that?
So
So it needs to go back
he
to the
he told me he was
104.7.
comparing it with another property that, not too far from here, but that property had timber on it, because I know about that property, because a relative of mine bought it. And, because I was, my sons were looking at that property one time and interested in it. We got somebody to come down and cruise it and all that, and it had a substantial amount of timber on it.
Yeah.
And once again, the gentleman that I met with down here, I don't know what his name was, to tell you the truth, but the step before this,
Probably the assessor?
I guess that's who it was.
Uh-huh.
Whoever the gentleman was, I think I sat right down there, to tell you the truth.
Probably was the assessor, yeah.
And he said that's what what they were basing it on. And I said, I didn't bring up about the timber, but it being a lot of timber on that particular parcel that he was comparing it to.
Right.
But I know that parcel has a substantial amount of timber on it.
So let me ask you a question. It's total 43.46 acres. So how many acres would you guesstimate are cut over? And how much is open land? Just ballparking.
It was 17 acres of timberland, I think it was. Because I had it I replanted it a year ago.
Okay.
Actually, February a year ago, they reseeded it down there. So so what's growing down there now is not even a year old yet, but it looks pretty. I didn't have too much loss in there. So,
How much open land do you have?
I'm trying to think how many. It's 43,
Yeah, it's about 44 acres total.
yeah.
What the card has on here, it says about 25 acres of cut over land and about 19 acres of open land.
Yeah.
But that might change.
I think
since
I
you-
get paid for 18 acres of farmland, actually.
About 18
I
acres
think that's what I
farmland?
get paid for, 18.
Okay.
Geezy works it for me down there.
Gotcha.
I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
I should have been a little bit more thorough on that, but I was in a hurry to get up there, try to get down here. But
So it looks like what they, it looks like in 2023, it's now cut over. It was wooded, now cut over. So it looks like they made the adjustment down to 104.7 total value, but for some reason it bumped back up to the 134.2.
yeah, I don't understand it, but
But in your mind, it should have been back to the 104.7 because that's where it was after you sold the timber off of it.
right. And the lady,
I agree,
the
yeah.
lady in this office, in one of those offices over there, is the one that I handed it to, and she made the adjustment.
But it didn't come through.
Yeah, because of the timber trend.
Yeah, I think we see the error right here. There's a notation for that, but the number didn't adjust for that.
Yeah, I don't think the numbers were adjusted for that.
Right.
No.
No, we can make that correction then.
So you're gonna bring it back to the 2023 assessment of 104.7? That's
Yes,
what-
sir.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, you brought it to our attention, and that was an error, and so we have the ability to correct that error, and we all agree that needs to be done, so.
Well, I certainly do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You will, Mr. Davis, are you still at the P.O. Box 116 Sharps?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you still will get a piece of mail notifying you that we've made that change. So-
Okay. Good enough. I'll be on the lookout. And
All right.
I guess they'll adjust they will adjust my,
The
the
taxes?
taxes that I've paid for 20,
Yeah, how does that work, Crystal?
I think that's how it
Will
works.
they issue a,
I bought,
okay, so Commissioner of Revenue's office, after these orders are processed, then they'll issue you a refund check from
right,
what you paid for and then back to the 104.7 number, so.
right. That's where I see it.
All right, Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Yes, sir. That was a wonderful present.
Well, it was an error, you know, had you not brought it to our attention, it would have stayed there, so.
I have an ancestor that was on the eastern branch, western branch of the church home down there around Davis Street. And he got a land grant, I think it was 1654, from the King of England. And I'm a direct blood descendant of that man.
Wow.
Now, on the backside.
Yeah.
A direct blood descendant.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, and I got a grandson, and he'll follow that chain too, you know.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It is, yeah.
But I got relatives live down there, but they don't go by Davis, which is, I got, several of them, they live in the city, they come down. This is down on, Drum Point,
Oh, yeah.
Drum Point,
Down Mary Point, Drum Point?
What's the creek in there called Davis Creek?
Yep, sure is.
And, that's, I mean, I
Oh, nice.
Thank y'all.
All right, have a good one now.
Bye-bye.
To 2130, Crystal? We're just taking the land value from 134.2 back to 104.7. You come on in. Hello. Ms. Elliott? Yes. You're right on time. All right. Actually, you're early, so that's good. Well, I'll tell you what, you can come up to the podium, and since you're early, if you want us to get started early, that'd be fine.
I'm good with that.
All right. Let me pull up your parcel here on the screen, and then we can all follow through together.
Mike over there.
Just getting set up.
Oh, okay.
I got some handouts for you. I'm just getting set up.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
All right.
Take your time.
That's fine.
This here, maybe.
Sure.
That's fine. Okay, so what you're referencing, I'm going to talk about, or ask you about. That's this.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
You tell me when you're ready.
I think we're all ready to roll.
Okay. I'm Carolyn Elliott, and my mother lives in Irvington at 650 King Carter Drive, which is where I grew up. And I'm a native Irvingtonian and go back there every week, several days a week. Our property, as you may notice, adjoins Tides Inn. And Tides Inn is undergoing a massive renovation. So in order to consolidate with time, I've written this letter, which I'm going to read, because this states everything that I would want to say this morning.
Okay.
So this is concerning 650 King Carter Drive, Irvington, Virginia. And I just told you I'm Carolyn Hall Elliott, located at 650 King Carter Drive. The property has been in our family and continuously lived in since the 1800s. I would like to request that the value of this property be reconsidered. Tides Inn adjoins our property from King Carter Drive down to Carter's Creek. Tides Inn is undergoing a multi-million-dollar renovation project, which has greatly affected our property in negative ways. Tides Inn has located all of their back-of-house operations next to our property line. Please note that Tides Inn has 23.66 acres of land next to us, but opted to locate all of their maintenance and everything else that goes on with running a hotel next to our property, as close as they could to the property line. We used to have a 15-feet-high hedge and a serene golf course next door. Now, next to our property and at the end of our house are the following that negatively affect our property. There are 14 items, and I'll just go through them quickly. A huge maintenance building with glaring spotlights that shine into our windows and onto our property at night. Hotel laundry operations, storage area for the hotel, maintenance work area, to say it's like a machine shop, to explain that. An outside area for employees to congregate, a service road for use by all employees, delivery trucks, trash trucks, and daily Tides-In maintenance/operations traffic, and that is right next to the property line. Loading dock with trucks backing up with their noisy backup alarms, stinky trash dumpsters, noisy trash compactors, smelly and loud sewage treatment facility, noisy HVAC units, 2 employee parking lots with lighting. I duplicated there with the HVAC units, my apologies. Storm water runoff onto our property. Some of the sounds emitted from the back-of-house operations are 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, such as the HVAC units and the existing sewage treatment facility. Tides-In continues to devalue our property. We cannot sit on our back porch or walk on our property without all of the sights, sounds, and smell of their operations, in addition to the lack of privacy and intrusion of their security cameras mounted on their new building. Tides-In has no respect for our property. For the factors stated, I am requesting that the value of our property at 650 King Carter Drive be lowered. I am aware that Lancaster County previously applied a discount to this property's value due to the sewage treatment system. But now there are even more negative factors affecting our adjoining property. I do not believe that the Tides-In back-of-house operations add any value to our property. No other property in Irvington is negatively affected, as is ours as adjoining property owners to Tides-In. I have attached behind this copies of our property where my mom lives, and I've tried to show you what was in existence and what we have now. I'm trying to show you some before and after photographs. It's hard to put into words exactly what we have next to us, but it is most unpleasant having Tides-In's back-of-house operations next to our property, and I just don't see how this our piece of property can increase in value with these types of things. So that's the reason I'm asking for your consideration in lowering. Now, I understand that there is a discount already in place, like I stated, for the existing sewage treatment. It's very smelly and it's very noisy. Just the smell just waffles over to our place.
Were they, excuse me, were they issued a permit to put that adjoining your property, all that they did?
As far as I know, that they were. Now, they had to get a conditional use permit from the town of Irvington. And of course, permits were granted through Lancaster County. Now, whether or not they will get an occupancy permit for this new building remains to be seen, because the CUP, conditional use permit, that Irvington granted them stated that they had to construct an 8-foot-tall fence 5 feet onto their property, partial way of our property, like 30 feet back from King Carter Drive is where that will start, and it goes down midway our property. The problem is that out of compliance ties in, and you'll see, there's a picture here, where they are building, where they were digging their swale or ditch for their drainage from the parking lots. They were supposed to have allowed 5 feet before they dug the ditch to allow for that fence, and they have not. So I don't know where that fence issue is going to go. They are out of compliance, so whether or not Lancaster County will issue them an occupancy permit with them being out of compliance, I don't know. And that would be that ditch that I'm speaking of that they have dug right up to the property line would be the 3rd page back. Actually, it's the 4th page back.
Do you or anyone in your family have an attorney to work on this?
No, ma'am. I have spoken publicly to the Irvington Town Council meetings. I did keep a lawyer on retainer during that period. I've been involved with this for 2 years, and it's been horrible. The Irvington Planning Commission recommended that the town council approve this renovation, as was presented on those set. That's the set of drawings of their renovation. I just brought that particular page so you could see how close and what all they have put next to our property line. But I do not actively have a lawyer involved. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Sorry.
If I can help explain anything in looking at that, you will see that the Hall Estate is down there on the bottom.
Right.
That's my mom's house, our property. Yes, sir.
So the approval was for,
In the very beginning, just so you'll know, we had requested that the,
split rail fence, 745, wood fence. Yeah. Here's Pete Barter right here. This
originally, we had requested that the privacy fence be put 20 feet onto their property to allow for a buffer. In speaking with attorneys, I was advised that between businesses such as Tides Inn and an operation as this and a private residence, that you allow about 20 feet between between what they were going to do and the property line. They argued that point, so we agreed. We came down to 15 feet, then we came down to 10 feet. And the owners of Tides Inn, which you may or may not know, is a Chinese family, the Tang family. And under them is the Enchantment Group. They own 5 resorts, but it's the Tang family. And I understand that the Tang family was very adamant, very opposed to any distance between the privacy fence, to the point that they submitted a new CUP a year ago, wanting to put the privacy fence right at the property line. We argued that. I argued that, because if you put a fence right on the property line down the road in years to come, as that fence becomes in disrepair, if it's right on the property line, it's as much my responsibility to fix as it is theirs per Virginia State Code. So then they backed up and wanted to put the privacy fence 6 inches, which if you spread your hand out, that's more than 6 inches from the property line. So after meeting with their lawyer, they did have a lawyer, of course, and their entourage, they withdrew that CUP application the end of last January. They withdrew that CUP application to have the fence installed 6 inches from the property line. So it reverted back to the 5 feet. So that's where we are today, at 5 feet. However, like I said, they've dug their ditch here out of compliance right up to the property line. And DEQ, I have been working with DEQ in Richmond, and they tell me that a privacy fence cannot go into a swale. And it was Tides Inn's decision to dig that swale right at the property line. So I don't know, I don't think DEQ is going to allow Tides Inn to put the privacy fence into the swale, which is the drainage ditch.
Right.
So that's an issue also, because now we've got this huge drainage ditch from the road to maybe 2/3 of the property down to the creek. Massive ditch right there at the property line. So I don't know how this is going to, where it's going to fall. All I can say is I will tell you it has really devastated my mom. She's 91 years old. It's been very devastating to her. It's devastating to me too, to see, what happens to our property. I don't know how that increases our property value at all. So I'm just asking for your consideration.
With all they've done with the runoff, how much of that has impacted y'all's property?
Well, right now, DEQ is working, I'm waiting to hear from DEQ because as you go down toward the creek, they have a service road. They placed their riprap, which is a picture in here also, so that all of the runoff from the service road area comes right down on our property. I mean, it's just a couple feet from the property line where all that runoff comes down. So, you want me to help you find that?
If you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
That's terrible.
And then you'll see, as you flip through here, you'll also see the culvert situation out at the road. DEQ had to get involved with that too, but that's not a finished issue either.
They just think they can do what they want to do.
So this picture
So
It's
there's
toward
already
the back.
25% economic, but that,
The photograph that I'm trying to show you is toward the back. It's just, look, you're almost there, you're right there. So it's maybe hard for you to see, but I have tried to circle the red ribbon.
so that's gonna be somewhere in this area? Where the service road is?
So, yes,
Here's the riprap.
so here is their first,
the picture
so
behind.
this is where that is. That's right here. You see that? So that you see right there, that runoff
It's right here.
is right here. And it's coming right down into our property. This is the property line that I have circled. And if you'll see the red netting right there, that's where the riprap's coming down and going right onto our property. So DEQ asked me, was this a problem? I said, well, when it's not raining, it isn't a problem, but when you have any amount of rain or storms, it's a problem.
Sure.
Because then, if you'll back up in here, you'll see there's a marsh at the end of our property, just before you go into Fort Potter's Creek.
Right, I can see it on here.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And that pond becomes like chocolate milk.
Is that, these pictures?
Yes, sir.
That's all from this marsh area here?
Yes, sir. That is the marsh area. So
And this marsh is mostly on your property.
Yes, sir, I would say at least probably three-quarters of that marsh is on our property. And DEQ also had them correct. You'll see also in these pictures, I'm showing an outflow pipe under their service road. That outflow failed. And so DEQ, what you see in my picture is what DEQ had them repair because the pipe filled up, the filter wasn't working, the pipe filled up, and I mean, it was a mess. So what you see is the new pipe, but that new pipe comes right out into the marsh. Ooh. There have been a multitude of problems. I've been trying to work with the Irvington Town Council. I've tried to work with Tides In, and as you know, or may not, I don't know, but here just about 2 months ago, the project manager that was with the construction group that was handling this renovation abruptly quit. And then just days later, the general manager of Tides In resigned. So now we have a new project manager that I have met with, telling him, you know, what we've got going on, and there's just very little communication. I've tried to reach out to him. Then the floodlight that's on the back, on the end of their new maintenance building, that spotlight shines, and that's toward the back of the pictures, which you will see. So their solution to that was on an automatic timer. Their solution was to put that floodlight or spotlight on a manual switch, which they did. However, the floodlight was still come on. And so when I called the project manager to tell them, you know, this floodlight is on, it's shining into my mom's bedroom window. They said, well, in the future, just call the front desk at night and ask them to have someone go over and turn off the light. That's not a solution to me. But they tell me that they're going to look into maybe putting some type of awning over that light to make it not so glaring onto our property. But we'll see. That's been a month, almost 2 months ago. So I know you are trying to look, and I know I am going over time here.
No, you're fine. We're right on time, in fact.
Okay. But when I met with the assessors, when they did the reassessing of the property, I came up here and met right in this room with them. The gentleman, and I shouldn't add footnotes, but he was very rude, told me that he could not come down on the value of our land because just a couple driveways down, there was a quarter of an acre of land that was going for $500,000. And I'm like, but sir, they don't have Tides In next door to them. They're not experiencing, they don't fight these battles every day that we fight. And, well, that just didn't do anything.
You're not the first person who's expressed those same sentiments, so.
Oh, okay, well, I'm sorry to be out of line
No,
to say that.
It's just more for us to take back to the Board of Supervisors of feedback from
Well, I
constituents.
came in, I was early for the appointment. He ran 10 minutes late. I only had 15 minutes. And by the time I came in and sat at this table, he said, you have 5 minutes. And I said, and that's all he gave me. And he was very, very rude. So I really appreciate your time today.
I'm sorry you are dealing with all this.
I'm sorry we're dealing with it too. It's just, unfortunately, it was one of Oscar Tang's daughters who owns an architect firm in New York who drew up these plans, and then Bay Design from Urbana they employed Bay Design from Urbana to implement this. But because the Tang family was very involved with this, I haven't been able to do very much. But I don't know what we're going to do about this fence issue. I'm really guarded to see what's going to happen.
So the town of Irvington, I can't recall what their setbacks are
For fencing?
for any, like,
There is no fencing ordinance in the town of Irvington. There is no fencing ordinance. Now, you have setbacks for, accessory buildings and houses. It's like 10 feet for accessory buildings and
Right.
25 feet for private resident homes.
right.
But there is no fence ordinance in Irvington.
But that's why you all were able to put that in the conditional use permit as a
As a condition.
condition that they would approve the CUP as long as they adhere to the 5-foot
Yes, sir.
setback.
That is correct. Now the problem is, Tides then dug the ditch at the property line, in some cases only inches from the property line. DEQ is saying, you can't put a fence 5 feet over from the property line because you'll be in the swale. Now they have, Tides then promptly also asphalted the driveway, not the parking areas that were originally supposed to be asphalted, but they made sure to asphalt that service road. So now, trying to get them to move that ditch over onto them, which is what should happen, they're going to argue that they can't because now they've had utilities buried there and they have their service road there. I mean, it's very plain to see.
Have you spoken with anybody at Bay Design Group about this?
Well, in the beginning, I tried to work with, his name was Wayne Savage.
Right.
With Bay Design, and he was very pro Ties In, and he even spoke in town council meeting and said that having a fence set back 5 feet was like giving away Tides In's land, and that he was not in favor of that. He argued the point that it was a 5 feet setback of a fence was not something that you would do, that was land that Tides In did not have access to, and that was giving away their land. Then they wanted a 15-foot permanent easement of our property because the condition is that the fence be 5 feet onto their property with plantings within that 5 feet to help absorb sound and sight. Because they are eventually in that area going to move their ugly storage containers. What do you call them? Those storage containers, the red, yellow, blue, you know what I'm talking, the cargo containers.
Connex boxes.
They're all coming back. They were there previously. All of that mess is coming back. And an 8-foot fence is not going to hide all of that. So that's the reason. And in the conditional use permit is that it's supposed to be the 5 feet setback with plantings on our side of the fence so that the community, as well as us, do not see the back of house operations.
But if you got a 5-foot setback for the fence and you got a drainage swell, you can't plant trees in a drainage swell either.
Well, right. The whole thing has become a problem with it. You are absolutely correct.
So, just as a side, if I were you, I would go sit down with Gordon Jones at Bay Design Group.
Lloyd Jones.
Gordon Jones, he's the owner.
Gordon.
Owner and president of the company. And I would take all this information you've given us and chat with Gordon about this.
Okay.
Because I don't think, I know that Gordon and his firm wouldn't want to do anything that would break the law or have any violations with DEQ.
Okay.
They've done some projects for us, and they're a great engineering firm, but they probably need to be made aware more than just Wayne Savage, but I would take it to Gordon's.
Yeah, I will get nowhere with Wayne Savage. I don't know if Wayne is still employed. I think he is with them. I don't
I
know.
don't believe he is anymore.
Okay.
But Gordon Jones owns the company, so I would call Gordon
Okay.
Jones and express to him your concerns, and maybe
Okay.
you can get some some answers that way.
Okay.
The fact that you have marshland and there's nothing on here about the RPA, that's a little concerning.
No, there was nothing in there about RPA whatsoever. And they have taken down, they have taken down trees that's within the RPA. I mean, I can't even take down a dead tree without going through the town of Irvington, and getting approval.
Well, going back to your mom's house, have you all done any renovating or anything to the house itself, actually? Interior, exterior?
The only thing we did was in August 29 and 30 of this year, we did put on a new roof.
Okay.
That's the only thing we've done. We did put on a new roof because her roof was actually leaking and the sheetrock in the living room was affected.
Okay.
Yeah, the roof was 25 years old, but we did put on a new asphalt roof.
Anybody have any more questions?
And she use your name as reference?
Yeah, I think a talk with Gordon would be helpful to you on this.
I will take your advice and do so.
That there's, there should be more notations on these plans than what's there. But I'm not a licensed surveyor, I'm not an attorney, I'm just a real estate broker who's been doing real estate for 30-some years.
Well, you know a little bit.
I've seen a few surveys and commercial properties, but I think there's enough evidence that y'all have got some serious concern and you need to be given some answers on.
All right, thank you. Well, I will call and see if I can meet with Mr. Jones.
Hey, he's a great guy. I mean, very responsible and everything, so.
Okay?
Yeah.
Give me any encouragement.
And I just say, came before the Board of Equalization, expressed my concerns, and, you can tell them David recommended I speak to you.
Okay?
You know.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Well, I'm sorry for all y'all's troubles. Really I am, truly.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
And thanks for do you want a copy of what you've given us? We don't need 4 copies. If you want to take one of those copies. and
If
give
you
me-
don't want them, I'll take them back. If you want them, that's fine.
I think just one, but I mean, if you need to give a copy to Gordon.
Okay.
Presentation, I think that would be helpful.
Well, thank you so much.
But I think you've provided us with enough information that we can make some changes and P.O. Box 134, St. Stephen's Church.
Yes, sir, that is my mailing address.
Okay, so that's where we'll send the notification to.
And that's what's on file here at the county.
Okay.
for Taxes and so forth.
Yeah, it'll be the next couple of weeks, but we'll make our decisions today, as this is probably the last hearing we'll have on this general reassessment until 5 years from now.
Yeah.
That's something else.
It is.
And we drive past it all the time, and I see all the work there, but you don't have a clue as to what's happening behind the scenes and.
It says posted no trespass, but anytime you want to come on our property, please do. All 4 of them, Mr. Reynolds, Ms. Davis, Mr. Goodman.
I'm afraid you might employ me to be an attorney on your behalf and argue this thing.
I wish you would.
Well, if you need any advice outside of this hearing capability, you feel free to call me.
How would I reach you, Mr. Goodman?
I should have a business card on me, but I don't. Let me,
I have a hat.
okay.
I'm prepared.
But we like to see phrase this? The county's not anti-growth, but when you're doing things, you gotta do things right. Tides Inn knows how to do things right. Beta Design knows how to do things right. So there may be a couple things that you need to bring to somebody else's attention to say, hey, look, this isn't right, and
This is a negative experience with Wayne Savage, with Beta Design. I'll just, it's like, that's not going to be a little bit, but with this encouragement, I'll try to reach out to.
call me later today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judy, for your time.
All right, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And hope things turn out in your favor.
They will.
God bless you.
They will.
Yeah, go pray. He'll fix it. She's a cute little lady. Huh? I know. But that's what they do sometimes. They people move in and come in and
I'm surprised DEQ to come in and just shut them down and say, we gotta correct these things first.
Her best avenue might be get somebody involved from,
An attorney.
some environmental agency. Just turn some heads,
I get
cause
everything.
that looked, that's odd.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I get as many people involved as possible.
Poor thing.
Because they must have moved everything
All right.
from one side to the other.
Our 11:30, okay.
You go in the front door, there's a apartment over there.
Yeah.
So they moved it now. Now they gonna move that, that's terrible. They don't care about people, like they used to say, come here.
Or they want that.
Yeah.
Good, that's fine, I just wanna make sure I want to hold anything up.
2564, we got a Zoom call for this one, everybody. Okay,
Who's that guy there with?
he's the next one,
Oh, okay.
11:45. All right,
Several people of the family will be online.
He's good. Bless you for being so helpful.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, you be blessed.
So this one, land value, same, improvement value, okay. Y'all ready for the
Who
Zoom?
we got now?
Okay, Glenn, we're ready.
I didn't even get the name.
It's 2564.
They can hear me? Mr. Jarvis?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I am well, sir. Thank you, and thank the board for having us and giving us some of your time. Much appreciated.
I apologize, we're running a little bit behind, but we'll turn things over to you all. We've got your tax map in front of us, so I'll let you all go forward, and then we might have some questions for you at the end. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
Okay, well, thank you much again. We have, again, I am Daniel Jarvis, have my sister Terrell Estrada and cousin Shakira Hopra on with us as well. So, again, thank you all for meeting us with us today. We received our taxes, that's FY24 taxes, and we were concerned of such significant increase. For an example, from previous year, it actually increased 100%. And so we wanted to kind of, we thought that there must be an error, and so we wanted to have an opportunity to kind of talk through that. Because also on the document, the improvement increased as well. I believe almost 250%. And meanwhile, the land value decreased about a little by somewhere around 7.5%. And so we've not done any improvements, right? And that's been over the last 20 years, other than just the general upkeep so that it does not become dilapidated, I'm sorry, and continue to honor our great grandparents, since Ms. Hopper is on the call. Also for a place for our family to come. It's such, we see it as such, we get such serene atmosphere, and certainly enjoy Lancaster County, some of the visits to Belle Isle Park, Kilmarnock, as well as the museum as well. And so in combination of all this, I think that we just really trying to understand why, or the rationale for the significant increase in taxes.
You see the discrepancy in the square footage?
It looks like, yeah, the land value from the last general reassessment stayed the same, so 25.5 did not change, but your improvement value jumped from 27.4 to 98.5. One thing, the square footage. The old tax card says it's 964 square feet. The new one has 1,100 square feet. Any,
I'm sorry?
any idea? I mean, you all haven't done any additions or anything, correct?
Right, we've literally done no additions. We've added nothing on either side. I mean, I tell you, it's for the kids, for when we go down in August, there's a moon, kind of, not a moon bounce, but one of the bounces, which is not attached to the house, but just an individual, just a bounce that's kind of wrapped up right now. But that's the only additional thing is outside.
This is strange, because even the notations have a 25 by 20 foot house with a 10 by 10 addition. So 20 by 25.
Clearly there is
That's 500 square
Yeah.
feet plus 100, that's 600 square feet.
Right, and so clearly there's an error, right? Certainly, thanks for lifting it up.
Is it a basic square house with a 10 by 10 addition?
There is no addition, and I tell you, I'm,
So
you know,
it's
tell my
just-
age, but I'm 56, and
So it's just a square?
it's never been, yes, it's a square, yes.
So that apartment might not even be there. Okay. 4-room house? Is there 4 rooms? No?
You can't hear me, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all, you got your mute button on.
It's actually 3,
3-room house, okay?
yes.
With any bathrooms? You're muted again, Ms. Jarvis.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We have 1 bathroom,
1 bathroom, full or half?
actually a half.
Okay. Any AC or heat systems?
Neither,
Okay.
neither.
Well, shallow well?
Shallow well,
Uh-huh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
And then septic system?
Yes.
And does anybody occupy the house?
No.
How long has it been vacant? roughly?
All of, I guess my great grandmother moved from out there, and I mean, it's probably, and this is an estimate, at least 40 years.
40?
Yes.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, that number seems awful high, unless you all had done some major renovations. I don't know that anybody can justify an increase of $72,000 and nothing's changed with the house. Do you all have any questions?
No, that's all right. I think I know this house.
Do you?
I think it's right behind me,
Okay,
I think.
I'll pull up on Bombing.
Yeah.
Right, directly right across from Hartswell Church.
Yes, sir. I know
Yep.
exactly where you're at.
Yep,
Yeah. And
Right
it hasn't
behind.
changed in a long, long time.
yeah.
Oh, up there, Moses.
Well, I mean, one thing to me, we've got to correct the square footage. That's, no sense in you all being taxed on 1,100 square foot when there's no way there's 1,100 square foot of house there. And this is based on the assessor's drawing, so, I think there's a number of things that we can do on our end to correct the inadequacies of the height, so. Do you all have any more questions for the board while you've got us all here?
Only, like, what would the next steps be?
So, at the end of the day today, this is probably our last day of deliberations for the year. And the county reassesses every 4 years, so we get together every 5 years for this. And we are the next to last stop for requesting that your tax assessed values be changed. First step is, I guess, with the assessor, then the Commissioner of Revenue, then with us, and if you're not happy with our decision, you can appeal it to the judge at the courthouse. Based on what we do is, at the end of the day today, we go through each case by case, and then we will notify you all by mail within 2 weeks' time of our decision. And if the tax assessed value were to decrease based on our decision, then the Commissioner of Revenue would issue you all a refund of the difference in tax value. And I can pretty much guarantee you that we will be adjusting your numbers. So there's just a lot of things here that don't seem to be accurate, so we will be adjusting you all down.
Okay, well, thank you for that, and I believe that the, Taverla, your address is on for to receive, so, yeah, we'll go to you. Okay,
What we've got here is 3232 Dorethan Road, Baltimore, Maryland, 21215.
yes, sir, you got
Okay,
it.
well, that's where we'll mail the notice to within the next 2 weeks or so.
Gotcha, so we'll go ahead and pay we pay what it is now.
Yeah,
and
go
then-
ahead and pay what it is now, and then you all would get a refund check based on the number that we reduce it to today. Once the order is put through, then the Commissioner of Revenue will be mailing you all a check, a refund check.
Understood.
Yeah.
No other questions for us. We, again, want to really thank the board for making the time for us. Much appreciated.
Oh, our pleasure, and thank you all for bringing this to our attention. The only way we know of inaccuracies are if taxpayers come before us and let us know. And, with this being a human transaction where the assessors, they're humans, they make mistakes, and what we try to do is just make sure everything is accurate as possible and as fair and equitable as possible. So we appreciate you all's time today, too.
Thank you. Well, take care. You all have a great holiday as well.
Merry Christmas
And
to
a
you all.
happy New
Thank
Year.
you.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Locke, how you doing? Thank you for your patience with us.
Oh, no, I think very interesting.
We try not to push anybody. We try to give everybody as much time as they need to, and because we know it's as important for you all as it is for us to be hearing everything. So.
Oh, yeah, it's very interesting to see this. So,
Let me pull up your parcel here on screen, and then I'll turn things over to you. Let's see, 22F 15. Okay, off Oak Point Road. All right, y'all ready? Okay, Mr. Locke, I'll turn things over to you.
okay. Well, we got a new tax section. We just purchased the property about a year ago, and we paid, it's 5.9 acres on a cove in the Caratoma River, and they taxed us, new assessment was $279,000 value on the property. And we purchased a property, which I have a settlement sheet for $210,000. And there's few things on the lot, even though it's 5.9 acres. I don't know if you have if you see on the plot plan, there's a large strip of land right there. I don't know how much it is. It's probably an acre or two.
Right here where the cursor is?
Yes.
Okay.
And Bo Bragg did the subdivision. The reason why he kept that there is they made I think they added the county road there, and that's property, as I understand it, was to make sure the properties that you see, looks like 22, and there's like 4 properties, no, on the other side.
This side?
Yeah, those properties, they wanted to make sure they could not put driveways into the county road, and to make a buffer because of anything, they had tractors and outbuildings and all, so it made it a buffer to that area.
Okay.
So basically, I technically own it, but and they also is used for drainage. They have drainage ditches, I think 2 of them there that has stone to have the, but anyway, that property I have to mow, but there are some trees and a abandoned road on it that used to be the road to, I think it used to be a chicken farm or something at one time. But, so I maintain that property by mowing it, but it doesn't, it gives benefit to the subdivision, which I'm part of the subdivision, but it's something I maintain. Then, so that's that piece of property, that's a big part of it. Then there's I have plot line, there's a power line that goes across the property, which probably has, I'm just guesstimating, probably 60 feet on the and I have a plot plan on it if it's, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in it, but,
It's down
Sure.
Let's see, right here, I guess this is the lot right here, there's a power line that comes here. Yeah, and so, it has a telephone pole right there that goes underground to transformer here. So basically, where this is a cove right here, and, I have another, plot plan, that shows some wetlands here. So all this. That's all marsh. Yeah, it's all marsh. It's actually some of it is, totally, water in it all the time, even at low tide. Let me get the other, thing that's, I think so, but diagram.
It is lot 5, yeah.
Is it lot 5? Yeah. So here's, so this is the mark, this is where the power line comes. So basically, our building site's right here, and, there's two
trying to
septic
back
areas.
out.
One
I can't
for the
get it.
house that I'll be building, and then there's a septic area. It's roughly 50 feet by 100 feet, and I don't know if that,
Yeah, there's primary reserve drain fields there, so your building envelope, there's overhead power line,
right, so I can build right here.
but you gotta build something small,
And,
or go back here, or back there, yeah.
well, I'm gonna build, because this is the only waterfront area that's usable, because I can't really get to here. And also, where the trees are, which is RPA, there's woods there.
Oh, yeah, there's the RPA right there.
Yeah. So there's an area I can build, but, and with my house location, it's close to 4, so here I got nice privacy.
Right.
Here I won't.
Right.
These lots are significantly nicer just because they're views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is nice that I can use it.
Right.
That's why the property went for less money, and the other properties, they're listed for really high, they haven't sold them, and I don't think they will at that price.
Right.
Nice lot, but they had to do the septic for this lot. And, so basically, all from the RPA, there's a hill, so I'm an elevated lot, but, so basically, to get to the property, to the waterfront, I have to go down a pretty big incline, which is walkable.
Who's, I know one of these is yours, whose is the other septic?
For lot 4.
That's on your property?
Yeah, see, they're, so basically, they got,
They're down,
these rights.
Yeah, that makes a difference too, because you got somebody else's,
I don't know their septic field, but it's,
I saw out here.
Oh, I know, yeah, yeah.
So it's not-
yeah.
Somewhere
I
in
mean,
there.
I-
So you go down up Beers Road, it's off of that.
Okay,
So he's saying you can only build.
this is very helpful.
I can build,
Power
I'm gonna
lines coming across.
build a.
You're very limited where you can build there.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do about 2,000 square foot house,
Mhm.
I'm 69 on a fixed income, I was a carpenter all my life, I saved my money to do that. So I'm trying to get everything down.
Oh, yeah.
So I can
Right here,
afford
you see all the
everything.
woods.
I don't think it makes
So
any
he's saying
difference
he
with
can
taxes,
build.
Well,
I'm trying to get everything.
And the fact that you just purchased this lot
That's the RPA, so he has.
December
That's
8th,
what this.
23 for 210. So that shows you what market value,
Right, and it was on, market for, I don't know how long. it was
Yeah.
there for a period of time.
right.
What do we say?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's, I get it. I get it.
Some of these things make it nice, the wetlands, no one can build on it, but everyone can, enjoy it, but,
But it limits you
yeah.
with the wetlands
Yeah.
setbacks, yeah.
So basically, I don't have a lot of area
Usable,
usable.
Right.
So, which is fine for me, that was, I'm hoping we can get the taxes, anything we can save,
Sure.
Or, wanted everything to be, fair, but that's, things that I saw that was, the power line, the wetland.
Yeah.
Strip of land and, septic area,
yeah. Mr. Locke, a good mailing address for you, we've got 411 Walnut Street, 10601 Green Cove, Springs, Florida, 32043. Okay. What we'll do is, you heard before, next couple weeks, you'll get a notice in the mail
I heard all
from the
that.
county and,
That's all, we'll go ahead and pay taxes.
yeah.
Anything that can be cut is beneficial to me, and
Well, thank you for bringing that in, because again, just looking on paper, we wouldn't have a clue of how much marsh was there, the overhead power lines, the reserve septic for the next lot, all those things are factors that, either add or detract value, so that's helpful for us
I
to,
do have pictures of my cell phone if you want to see the power line, how wide.
I get it from there. I mean, I know we've got a power line at our property on the roadside of our house, and it's tough. I mean, it's, one of those things you can't change it, but you can't build right there on it either.
And luckily, it's down, and it doesn't really detract, but we can't use the property there, and
Right.
it is very sloped in that area. So a lot of, a lot of the property is not used because it's sloped. But
Sure.
it's there, so no one can build it, so we got a buffer.
Yeah.
Gives woods and stuff, which we like, and nobody really that, but we can get the value of, less expenses for us to really help, because, well, we sold our house 9 years ago in Hanover County, and right after the building recession, and
Oh, yeah.
so, what we had on that property was 10 acres, we can't even build that house. And I actually built that, might build this one, I don't know.
Well, good.
Retired contractor, I did, swung a hammer and everything, so I actually did additions and stuff like that.
There you go.
Hopefully you could do this one, but I won't do quite as much of the framing, do 69.
I'm sure you can find some good crews down here to help out with framing part.
Yeah, well, I'll probably do. I'm gonna take them from drywall, do all the framing and all that. So,
You save a lot of money doing it yourself.
I want to try to get it down some.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, but, no, I just love the area. My dad lives on Waverly Avenue. We watched him, he just turned 100.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So we figured this was a good area to retire
Yeah.
in, because we can oversee the construction while watching him. So,
That's great.
We're trying to get everything so we can, go ahead and build and get the cost down a little bit so we can afford this.
Right, sure.
Anyway, I really appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming in.
If you listen to the hearing and stuff like that, you gotta.
Lee's and, we're wrong.
We've got a full day of it, so, and that's why we, really want to give everybody a chance to give us as much information as they can, because this afternoon we go one by one and with our notes, it's okay, well, this is what we're going to do here, and boom, 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 so.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Have a good holiday. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
When you moving?
What's that?
When are you moving?
Well, right now, we're, basically 9 years ago, I sold my house in Hanover County, because we had 10 acres, and I built the house, and my kids had graduated college, so we didn't know. We loved the house, but it was just too much upkeep. Was not, the house was new, but, 15 years old, but it was all brick with low maintenance, but just mowing the lawn and having the, bigger house than we needed. So we became full-time RVers, and my dad, we had to start watching. So my sister watches them half the time, and then my wife and I watch him the other half time. So he just turned 100, and
That's awesome.
so we said, well, we can build a house. This is a great area to retire. One of my sons lives in Richmond, the other in Arlington, Virginia.
There you go.
Although he's moving to Hawaii. He's an engineer for construction. They do roads, and they're doing a light rail system in Honolulu. So he's going to be, so he's not going to be near us, but we have to visit him in Hawaii. That's going to be tough.
You have to go there. You have to.
So.
He's not gonna visit you, you have to visit him.
So the 2 states we haven't been to, being full-time RVer, we haven't been to Oregon and we haven't been to Hawaii, so we'll have Hawaii costs off our list.
That's right.
But anyhow, we're gonna sell the RV and concentrate on the house and hopefully be able to afford a small boat to do a little bit of fishing and all.
There you go.
So that's what our plans are, and so,
Well, that's good. You be blessed.
yeah. So basically, unfortunately, everybody likes the waterfront, so it went up. That was always my dream, to have a waterfront property, because my dad's always boated and stuff like that. So I'm happy with a small center console to fish, so, dock, and so that's how I want to do my retirement. And maybe if I can afford it sometime, get a small trail. We have a fifth wheel because we were full-time. That's our house, basically. So we want to get a small trailer maybe in a couple of years and still do some traveling, but, so that's basically our story. And,
That's great.
so we've always liked, we came from this area, camping at Gray's Point, when Mr. Brent owned a campground there. So that's what got my dad to this area. He built about 35 years ago, and so we just love the Northern Neck, and great place to retire. Traffic's not too bad, and hopefully we don't add to the riprap. So, well, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I appreciate it.
All right,
and,
buddy. Thank you now.
You guys have Merry Christmas.
You too, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just let you know, this will be the last meeting, we will not be on any more advertising deadline.
Yeah, we use restroom too. Restroom break. Lunch, we're waiting for lunch.
Oh.